I'm Dr. Brian Hulsebus, and welcome to another edition of Ask the Chiropractor. Ask the Chiropractor is my little podcast that I do where I try to answer questions about chiropractic or chiropractic care that you might have. All too often, people go to a bad source for chiropractic information, not healthcare information, but chiropractic information. All too often, people will ask a family doctor or maybe a physical therapist or massage therapist whether or not they should try chiropractic care. And even though these people might have good intentions, they're ignorant on what chiropractors do, and therefore they are bad people to ask because they don't know the answer. And all too often, I've had somebody come in after asking another healthcare provider whether they should try chiropractic care or not, and that other healthcare provider told the patient that no, you should not. And then time goes by, they finally come see us out of desperation. We see them a few times and they get incredible results right away, but that's time of their life and longer for us to take care of them. All that never should have happened. They should have came to see us right away. So people submit me questions all the time to see if I can answer the question for you. This week I had a really fun question, and it's really appropriate because I just got back from Palmer College Homecoming where we took classes and learned a lot more new exciting stuff. And the question was, can going to a chiropractor help with my steadiness? Often I feel like I'm going to fall. I'm always afraid I'm going to fall and hurt myself. Can a chiropractor help us with that? And I'm going to answer this question in two different ways. So the first way I'm going to ask is a direct way. Can a chiropractor help me with my issues of falling? Well, a lot of times, not all the times, but a lot of times, some of the reasons of vertigo or unsteadiness can come from your upper two bones of your neck being misaligned. See, what happens here is the brainstem is right there, and the brainstem is our coordination center. The nerves come up the spinal cord, they go to your brainstem or your cerebellum, and the cerebellum sends into the brain. When they come down from the brain, they go to the midbrain, and they go to the body parts where they need to go. So as chiropractors, we've noticed that when we do upper cervical work, the top two bones in your neck, we can often influence this area. Now, why does this happen? Well, this happens a lot because the spinal cord itself goes right down your neck. And the spinal cord has these two ligaments that come out. They're called dentate ligaments. They look like little teeth, hence the word dentate. And they hold onto the side walls very aggressively. And these are really, really powerful ligaments. These ligaments don't want to go anywhere, budge or move. So when you have a neck with bad posture, now what's happened is you're almost pulling on the spinal cord when you lose your good posture. So if you have a nice round curve, that posture is good, but when you straighten it out, there's a lot of tension coming down. And because the spinal cord itself doesn't want to move, so the spinal cord is at, let's say, the fifth cervical is right there, it's anchored down, and when you move and you increase the tension, the spinal cord is now being stretched, but it's not going to move. So only thing that can happen is that the brain itself and the midbrain itself gets pulled in a downwards direction because of the force of the neck being in the wrong place. So if you lose your posture, you increase this pressure tremendously. Now, if you're involved in a motor vehicle accident or trauma where you jerk your head forward and backwards, what we call a whiplash injury, this is even more pulling and tugging, but this is not a really quick action. And we all know it's one thing to fall slow and another thing to fall fast. So if you do this really quick back and forth, you're going to get even more pulling and yanking. So anyone who's had a head injury, because remember I've said this 1,000 times, you cannot have a head injury without a neck injury. You can't swing your head around without hurting your neck. Okay? So what happens is people will get these injuries, they'll injure themselves, and what happens is where the brain comes down. Now when part of that brain comes down, it can definitely cause some issues. I got to actually see this with Dr. Goodyear down in Jacksonville, Florida. He actually has a motion MRI machine, so we can actually watch the chiropractic care happen real time, real life. And what happens is when you do those upper cervical adjustments, you actually help push and take the pressure off the midbrain and alleviate that. That's why a lot of times when people come see us, they come in with a little bit of vertigo and dizziness, and when they leave, they're much happier because the chiropractic care of those upper two bones can make a huge difference as far as your vertigo is concerned and your steadiness, your imbalance. The other thing that happens there too is a lot of times we'll see a spinal fluid flush. You've heard me talk about this in some of my head injury videos, the importance of this. So if you're feeling unstable, you're feeling a little dizzy, a little lightheaded, a lot of times a good chiropractic adjustment to your upper two bones in your neck can resolve this. Now, how do we know if this is you, if this applies to you or not? It's real easy. We take an x-ray. If those two bones are misaligned, those two bones need to be adjusted. When we adjust them, you should get better. If you come in, you have this as a symptom, as a condition, we take the x-ray and you have perfect posture and those two bones are exactly where they're supposed to be, then we're probably wasting your time. You're probably at the wrong place. But that's why we do the exams and the x-rays that we do. So a chiropractor can definitely put you through a neurological exam and take the x-rays and be able to answer, yes, I believe we can help you, or no, we can't. How often do you have to come? Depends how bad it is. I can't answer that for everybody. It all depends how bad it is. You can break your arm 14 different ways. They're all going to require different times to heal. Same difference in your neck. If it's totally misaligned, get in bad posture. And it's been like that for 5-10 years because someone told you not to go to a chiropractor. It's going to take extra long to heal. If you just had the accident yesterday and you ran in, and before the accident you had perfect posture, it's going to go away quickly. So I hope that makes sense. So that's the first area I wanted to discuss when it comes to, can a chiropractor help me with my unsteadiness and balance? The other area we can help with, a lot of us study outside of just chiropractic adjustments. We study exercise, how the body works, how the muscles work, how the neurology works. And one of the ways we learned about this was your fast twitch muscle fibers. These are the ones that help us prevent us from falling. When you go to fall, you lean forward and your fast twitch muscle fibers fire, and that causes your leg to jump out and you catch yourself. Now, as we age, we lose these fibers, especially in men. As we age, we lose these because these fibers, your level of testosterone go kind of hand in hand. So as your testosterone goes down, these fibers tend to decrease in numbers too. But good news, both for men who are older and women, you can definitely still build these. They're real easy to build. It's a real easy exercise to do, but you have to build them and you have to feed them. How do we build them? What they call eccentric exercises. What's an eccentric exercise? Let's just say I grab a dumbbell and I do a curl with it, right? So I grab it on my hand, I bring it right up to my forearm, right up in the air, so my hand's not pointing straight up and down. I came up really fast. That is not eccentric. What's eccentric is if I bring it down super slow. So if I grab a bench press, I press it away from my chest super fast, but I bring it down, I go really slow with it. That's eccentric. Or if I grab the kettlebell and I did a squat, that would be the best for this, right? A squat. I do a squat down really slow, then I spring up. That would be an eccentric exercise. So that's what you want to focus on. This causes the muscle fibers to split and helps grow new muscle and have it create more of these spindles. That way your nerves can fire faster and faster, hit those muscles, make those muscles fire faster and faster. So that's a great way of doing this. Now, you also want to feed these muscles. So you're done with your workout, even if you're out in the yard or exercising and doing some yard work. Anytime you have a good workout, a good sweat, you're trying to catch your breath. As soon as you finish, you want to finish it up with whey protein, W-H-E-Y, whey protein. I do a whey protein shake, and I like to do undenatured whey. What's undenatured whey? Whey that comes from a health food store, not a muscle store. So I get my undenatured whey from a health food store here in Rockford. This is also what the ice hogs drink after the hockey game, because this also helps recovery. And some of you have heard me talk about whey protein before because it elevates glutathione levels. Glutathione does a really good job of pulling heavy metals out of your system. So if I go out for sushi, I'll do an undenatured whey the next day to pull some of the heavy metals out of my system from the fish that I just ate. So undenatured whey is huge, all kinds of benefits, and it's we studied Donald Trump after he had COVID, and one of the things they gave him was whey protein, and whey protein increased Donald Trump's glutathione, and I can't legally say it, but it was amazing how when Donald Trump increases glutathione, how fast he beat COVID. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that's a solution or cure to COVID. If any legal bodies are listening or paying attention, but I've been saying that if I have COVID, I'm doing my whey protein right away to try to stop the cytokine storm. All right? That's the legal mambo jumbo we have to go through to talk about COVID still, unfortunately. We don't have to pay attention to the science. We have to watch what we say. All right, so back on topic, falling. So I will exercise. I'll do eccentric exercises in order to build the fast twitch muscle fibers back up. And when I finish exercising, I will take the whey protein. Now, mind you, most of the time you stabilize yourself with your legs. My legs jump out, my legs shoot out in order to get them to go. So I also get my lower back checked. In order to get my lower back checked, I make sure my hips are level. Because if I have a subluxation in my lower back, that's going to affect the nerves going down my legs. We call that sciatica. Can chiropractors help with sciatica? Absolutely. Done thousands of videos on that, thousands and thousands of research on that. But if my lower back's not behaving the way it's supposed to be, and I go to stop on my leg real fast, and I have a subluxation in my lower back, my reflexes are going to be slower, they're going to be diminished. That's one of the ways we prove that your back's out. We check your reflexes. So that's decreased too. So if I really want to prevent falling, especially as I age, I want to make sure my upper neck's clear. I want to make sure that I'm building my fast twitch muscle fibers. And last but not least, I'm gonna make sure my lower back's cleared. So that way I don't have any hesitation with the nerves going down my legs or my lower back. So my reflexes going to the fast twitch muscle fibers continue to work. So can chiropractors help with falls? Well, if you look at the big picture and you do everything overall, we should definitely have a decreased fall risk. I hope that answers your questions. It's not an overnight solution. Some of it is. Some of it, get your upper neck adjusted, you could feel better the next day. Get your lower back adjusted, get those reflexes working better, you could feel better the next day. But a long-term solution is to keep doing those eccentric exercises, having that whey protein. I'm in my late 40s and I do that 3 times a week. That's how I maintain what I have. So I hope that answered the question. Can chiropractors help with falls and fall risk? That's kind of how we go about doing things. Now remember, if you have a question about chiropractic or chiropractic care, I'm going to urge you to ask a chiropractor, the only people that actually know about it. You can go to my website at Rockford, DC, that's ROCKFORDDC.com and submit a question there. Or I'd recommend you go to palmer.edu and check out the Palmer College website, or go to chiropractic.org, the International Chiropractic Association. If you don't want to believe me, go to what I consider to be the best chiropractic school, the largest, most oldest and most successful chiropractic school. Or you can go to the International Chiropractic Association. They have tons of information and research there too. If you want to search the internet yourself, go back to some of my previous podcasts. I've talked about how to search the internet by using the word PubMed to actually find the real science. All right, everybody, thanks for listening. Come back next week. Maybe next week I'll be answering your question. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.